Hi, in this video I'm going to be exploring the NDVI tools in ArcGIS Pro. And so to do that I have this nice natural color infrared nape imagery from the USDA for San Angelo, Texas. And if you look here, you can see the 4 different bands that come with this. This is going to be the red, green, blue, and infrared bands that come with this image. Let's go ahead and add this in so we can see what it looks like. So I'm going to add to my current map. And this imagery, I mean, it's pretty impressive, 60 centimeters. You can zoom, well, maybe that's a little too much, but you can zoom pretty close in there and make out, for example, cars, little pools, houses, and so forth. Pretty good imagery. What's nice about this image is that it comes with the 4 bands, including the infrared band. And so one thing that just to do quickly is that you want to check to make sure that that red, green, blue infrared is the proper order. So band 1 would be red. Right now it looks like a natural color image, but what we can do to check it out is actually have this displayed with the Symbology to make it a color infrared image, CIR. So if I go over to Symbology, what I want to do with my image is switch out the red band with the infrared band, and then I switch out the blue band with the red band. And when I do that 4-2-1 combination, then I get myself a color infrared image. This color infrared image is quite useful because you see, for example, productivity of vegetation. Oh, that's a little too zoomed in. Productivity of vegetation, you can kind of make out where maybe people are fertilizing their lawns or watering their lawns and so forth. If I go look over here at the football field next to, you can see that it's not showing up red, which is kind of interesting because if I zoom in on this here, it shows up as green. Well, what does that tell me is that this is actually turf. This is AstroTurf, fake grass. That's why it's showing up that way. Quite easy to see the difference between the actual grass over here and the fake grass. But if I was to switch this back over to a normal natural color, you wouldn't be able to really tell the difference. This is very useful for camouflage detection in a military application because you could say, okay, look, that's obviously artificial. But anyways, getting back to what we're trying to do with this image, now we figured out the bands. 1 is red and band 4 is infrared. We want to create a NDVI, and in order to do that, what we're going to want to do is do a raster calculator on it. And the way to do that is through the analysis tool. We have here raster functions. So when I choose a raster function, it brings up a nice little pane over here, and one option we have here is our NDVI. And basically what you're doing here is you are telling it what the bands that it should be using. So this is the visible band, this should be our red band, and then the infrared band, and then it's going to apply the calculation for NDVI, which is going to be band 4 minus band 1 divided by band 4 plus band 1. You want to do the scientific output because that's the normalized version of it. And I go ahead and I create a new layer. This is going to run that process and then add a new layer here. And so what we end up getting here is a image that is from -1 to 1, with 1 being the highest possibility and -1 being the lowest possibility. 0 is kind of like the break between like a natural vegetated cover and an unnatural, or maybe just like a dead cover. You can see here, like for example, the roads. If I click on here, I don't know why it's not doing the identify. If I get the identify to go, so if I click here, it's going to give me the value. So I can see here -1.12. That's a road. Here's -0.36. I click over here into this vegetated forest area. I get a 0.38. I click over here in this 0.39. Let's go revisit that field, the football field. If I click on it here, you can see it's actually getting a a little bit above 0 on the reflection, which is kind of interesting. Right at 0, that's the threshold, between. But if you compare that now with the vegetated area right off to the side, you have much higher values. So pretty interesting. Look at a building here, negative value. So sometimes people use this to do impervious land cover calculations. You can, let's say I want to classify everything here below 0 as impervious, and that give you a shorthand to calculate imperviativity. But basically, this is one of the most famous index out there, NDVI index, and it's nice to see that the calculation has been made easy with these built-in raster functions on here. So just go over to the analysis tab, raster functions. Once you have raster functions, click onto NDVI.